Hello everyone. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. To start the new year, I decided to try something I had an interest in. For the past couple of years, I've been making movesets on a few Discord servers for characters for potential Super Smash Bros. Movesets. And I decided to now join the bandwagon of making videos about these movesets. I will say now I don't have a proper script and I'm probably gonna stutter a lot. So I hope you're willing to deal with that. But I just wanted to show some stuff I've been making. And for the first character I want to do is Subject Delta, the main character from Bioshock 2. The reason why is because he's the first his moveset was the first one I felt proud of. And he is known as a Big Daddy, an enemy type from the Bioshock series. And they protect little sisters as they gather Adam while Rapture. However, his little sisters, Eleanor, was taken by her Sophia Lamb, and the entire game is about trying to get her back. I personally like Bioshock 2 more than 1. That's maybe a bit controversial, but I do. And you're also probably wondering why I chose Subject Delta over the regular bouncer Big Daddy. That is because, admittedly, I have more of attach. There's that stuttering and speech impediment I was talking about earlier. But I care more for Delta as a character. I like him as a character. And to be fair, I think that this moveset does it could also work for a Big Daddy moveset that is combining all the Big Daddy's enemies and playable. The most you'll probably need to change is this final smash. Because that one leans more to Delta's character. But let's begin. So for the playstyle, I think he leans into the Zoner archetype, which makes sense since he's a first-person shooter character. I have some potential stats he could have. His weight between Kazuya and the sandbag, 2 jumps and crawl, dash speed similar to the Belmonts, airspeed and walk speed akin to K-Rool. Delta would be an inherently defensive fighter, preferring to fighting from a range with his disjoints and projectiles. However, he is typical to the big body curse. He is very easily combo food if his opponent managed to get into his range. And his strongest attacks require a resource management to properly do. For a character mechanic, he has Eve. In all 3 of the Bioshock games, you have these magic powers. And the first 2 games, these are plasmids. He will be using 5 plasmids in his moveset: Inferno, Cyclone Trap, Winter Blast, Telekinesis, and Electric Volt. He will be mainly using these for smash attacks, specials, and 1 down air. His down air. However, you can only use these plasmids with Eve, sort of a mana for plasmids. Eve regenerates a bit over time, but it is slow. There is a second way to give Eve to his down special, but that would come up later when we get to it. Grounded moves, normals. Jab is a two hit into rapid jab. The first would be a swing with his arm, similar to the gif you see on the left. Then he slams his drill into the opponent, and then the rapid jab has him turn the drill on, doing rapid damage until the final hit that launches them. Dash attack, it had to be the drill dash. I feel like this is a very obvious one. It was either this or a special. Forward side tilt would be him poking his drill forward. Functionally close to DDD, which is why I have him here, is mainly a poke option. Uppercut would be a wide. Up tilt would be a wide uppercut with the drill, mainly used for covering above him and can start combos. And then his down tilt will have Delta stab his drill into the ground, dealing multiple hits of damage. Somewhat similar to this move that the Big Daddy had in PlayStation All-Stars. Smash attacks. This is where we start getting into the Eves and E powers, but also Delta's guns. Basically, any move that uses an his plasmids, if he runs out, he will instead use a gun move for either a move that is weaker or has less utility. For the side smash, he will use the Inferno plasmids to basically fire out flames like a flamethrower. If he does not have much Eve, he will instead use the sorry. He would. I don't know why I'm feeling. Sorry about that. I felt like a sneeze was coming. He would instead use the machine gun and fire forward. Both versions work like Me Gunner's attack, but of course the fire version is stronger than the gun. Up smash, the plasmid version will have Delta create a tornado around him, and then which then rises up, which will act as a good out shield option. If he doesn't, then he uses the machine gun again and swings it upwards, then fires. This version is not as good as a out shield option because it only covers and it hits mainly in front of him, and it doesn't really hit behind. And then the down smash, Delta will create a small flame of fire around him, similar to, as we see, the Archviles gladly showing an idea of. And on low Eve, he will use the shotgun and fire two shots, one in front and then the other behind him. Aerials. His neutral air would basically have him perform a sort of a lariat move to deal damage with either his arm or his drill. His forward and back air are sort of a villager type deal, where they're basically the same move. It will have him pull out the shotgun and shoot in those directions. They can be, you can choose you can slightly angle it similar to the Belmonts, and they're mainly a good poking tool as they have decent range. The up air will be him pointing the drill upwards as it spins, sort of a slightly bigger version of character moves like Jokers and Sheiks, but with a drill. And then for the down air, if he has enough Eve, he will use Winter Blast to create a chunk of ice that will fall down as a projectile. It can spike early on near the creation of the chunk, And if he does not have enough Eve, he will instead do a foot stomp downwards, similar to, as you'll see, yep, like that. Grabs and throws. The grab will be the one move that uses a plasmid but does not cost Eve, and that would be using telekinetic. Again, I'm sorry, telekinesis. I am so sorry for my speech impediment, ladies and gentlemen. But he would use telekinesis to grab for a slightly ranged grab to grab opponents, lifting them off the floor. And then his pummel, based off this enemy, the Alpha Sirius, he will headbutt them for a slow pummel that's slightly more damaging than the average pummel. Forward throw will have him slam the opponent to the ground, which would then bounce them further. Back throw has him use telekinesis to draw them behind. Up throw will have them draw them upwards slightly, and then point his drill upwards, causing them to fall on it as he turned the drill on, dealing a large amount of damage. This is effectively his kill throw. And then his down throw would have him slam the opponent to the ground and then plunge his drill into them, dealing rapid hitting damage and launching on the final hit. Now on to the specials. For his neutral special, it is Electric Volt and Revet Gun. The plasma version uses Electric Volt, having him shoot lightning for a projectile that will stun opponents, similar to Zero Suit Samus's neutral special. If the move is charged, however, he will shoot the ground, creating a temporary area of effect that will stun opponents who walk on it, which is mainly to reference sort of the thing you could do with water, where you shoot it with electricity and basically any enemy. Normally enemies get instantly killed, but it would just act as a stun. Then the plasma version is the Revet Gun. This will be a much more simpler projectile that has him fire a Revet from the gun for a decent range projectile. It fires very quickly, and you can charge the shot for a stronger shot that also goes further. The side special will use Cyclone Trap and the Spear Gun. With Eve, he placed a swirling trap of wind in front of him. This trap will be set off if an opponent touches it or if he presses the move again, which will cause the wind to expand out, dealing damage to anyone in it. There's also a unique interaction with the neutral special where if he shoots the charge version of Electric Volt into the trap, the wind will also become electrified, and the trap will deal more damage and also give a temporary stun effect before launching them. With the gun version, it will use the Spear Gun. It will fire a single-shot long-range projectile forward at high speeds. This does reverse damage fall off, meaning it does more damage the farther it goes, encouraging trick shots. The up special, Delta doesn't have much in the way of vertical height in his games. So instead, he will have to borrow an ability from the other Big Daddies. That is the which will have him fire his drill that is connected to a rope, effectively acting as a grappling hook for a tether recovery. If you hit an airborne opponent, um, sorry, if you hit an airborne opponent, it will pull Delta to the opponent, and he will backhand them. And now for the most important special, the Little Sister. When pressed, a Little Sister will spawn behind Delta, and press it again, and it will have the Little Sister start collecting Eve at that spot. I know in the game they actually collect Adam, but here they will, for the purpose of this moveset, they will start collecting Eve. From here you have two options. The first, you can click the shield plus special, and it will have Delta pick up the Little Sister and harvest it, being a green smoke appearing around them, and then we see with the Little Sister disappearing, being harvested. This will immediately give Eve, but not much. If you instead let the Little Sister do her thing, she will gather Eve and give it to Delta, which will give much more Eve in return. The problem is that the Little Sister could be attacked, interrupting her Eve gathering. So if you choose to go this route, you have to protect the Little Sister, which luckily this entire moveset had been built around defense with area denial control tools and range-based ones. So this special is meant to be the bow that ties it all together with Delta's defensive play. And then for the final smash, I call it father-daughter reunion. It will have Delta use the gravity pulse plasmid from the DLC for Bioshock 2, which will pull opponents in. Then he uses the last plasmid you can unlock in the base game, Summon Eleanor. He will throw it, which would cause Eleanor, his daughter, to appear in her big sister suit, and then they both. It's sort of like a Sheik or Greninja type final smash where they are expended in the air as they whack up damage on them, with Eleanor teleporting around, attacking them with slashes and kicks. Well, Delta attack will actually change based on how much Eve he's have. If he has low E, he will fire the machine gun, while at high E, he will actually fire at them with the Inferno Plasmid. Then to finish it off, Delta will fire a grenade out from the launcher, while Eleanor does a big strike, launching them away. I thought it was pretty fitting for the final smash to involve Eleanor, since the entire game is basically about you trying to get Eleanor back. It's the central point. And now extras. Costumes, we have his default. We have an orange based on the Rosie, a red and black based on Elite Big Daddies. Then for originals, we have green, purple, and blue. Then we have a golden one based on this concept. And then for a final one, it will actually turn Delta's head into give it like a baseball type texture, and then the body would be sort of plush-like, which is to reference the Big Daddy plushies that the Little Sisters have. for taunts. The first will have Delta stomp his feet as he revs up his drill. The second will have him pull out the research camera and take a picture, which I thought was a funny, like, you take a picture of your opponent's failure. I know in Bioshock 2, the camera works more like a film camera, while Bioshock 1 is more the picture, but I think the picture one works better for a taunt. The third would have him create an ice sculpture with the Winter Blast plasmid. And this ice, it could be like a Pac-Man roulette type thing where what the ice sculpture is could be random, could be a character or an iconic thing to the Bioshock series. And I will admit, sometimes I like to give the that's my dog, you might hear them. Sometimes I like to give characters fourth taunts sometimes, since I kind of wish they had fourth taunts, since there's four direction. It would just have him shoot out the bees. And then these are the victory animations. And that is it for now. I hope you enjoy, and I'm gonna cut this short because I think some people here, but I hope you enjoyed the moveset. Have a good day.